Hello everyone, just a few minutes ago, an unprecedented disaster in the history of the United States occurred. A terrible tornado with an unimaginable speed, up to 250 kilometers per hour, suddenly attacked large areas. From the East Coast, the strong wind like a wild beast roared, sweeping away everything in its path, injuring nearly 2,000 people and being hospitalized for treatment. A house fell from the sky in a really terrible tornado. In the blink of an eye, sturdy buildings were suddenly uprooted, vehicles were blown away like toys, and trees snapped like matchsticks. The wind was so fierce, people could not believe their eyes. Faced with the ferocity of the crazy wind, they could only kneel down, trembling in despair, praying in vain, waiting for the worst to happen. The number of casualties will probably continue to increase in the coming minutes. No one can predict what will happen next. This may be the last moment to say goodbye. Please prepare for the worst. The nightmare is not over yet. According to the latest information, nearly 2,000 people were injured in the first few minutes of the terrible tornado. The number is still rising, rapidly and uncontrollably. The nightmare is not over yet. According to the latest information, nearly 2,000 people were injured in the first few minutes of the terrible tornado. The number is still rising, rapidly and uncontrollably. We received urgent news. The deadly wind has not stopped yet. The wind speed has increased to 300 kilometers per hour, turning everything into flying debris in the air. The houses, though solidly built, are now as weak as fragile leaves before the hurricane. In just half a second, hundreds of houses have been torn apart, crushed into dust. A girl, an electric bike person, and bike were blown away like a blank sheet of paper. A large school that has been operating for nearly 10 years has now become a mess. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing an unprecedented scene. The 1,000-year-old trees, which had stood firm through the vicissitudes of time, could no longer withstand the raging wind. In an instant, each massive tree trunk was knocked down to the ground with an irresistible force. The huge trunks, once symbols of longevity, now broke like fragile matchsticks. An American guy is trying his best to protect his small house full of memories from the crazy wind. It doesn't stop there. A residential area camera captured a scene. This is a terrible strong wind, a scene like a nightmare. It didn't stop there. A person far away in the storm area recorded a tornado that landed on the city during the storm. Oh my God, tornado! The nightmare was out of control. The wind had now doubled. The wind had now reached an unimaginable 400 kilometers per hour. Everything in its path, from cars weighing tons to the most solid houses, all were lifted into the air like pieces of shredded paper. The car weighed tons and was carried away by the wind like a white piece of paper. The coconut trees were about to be uprooted and torn apart in a matter of seconds. The wind has now gone beyond any limits we can imagine. The cars that fall through it can be blown away by the wind at any moment. The storm is now out of control. The flooded streets are now deserted. The storm is now out of control. The flooded streets are now deserted. All flights across the United States have been officially suspended. when the deadly wind with unimaginable power. If you have watched this far, then don't forget to click subscribe to the channel. Like and share so we can meet again more often.